So today, Hamza continued his absolute outrage against the white people in Southport who were kicking off. And of course, they were, in his view, the worst of humanity, and they are the problem, not marauding, knife-wielding maniacs brought in from abroad, but in fact, the white people in Southport who are upset. So he wrote a big, long, 2-page letter to the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, today, saying that it was high time that what he called the EDL ought to be banned. Now, the EDL stands for English Defence League, and it was an organisation that was run by Tommy Robinson, and it wound up 10 years ago. 10 years ago. And Hamza today was so outraged about them, thinking that they were still around, that he wrote a long 2-page detailed letter to the Home Secretary asking that they be called a terrorist organisation and banned. They gave up 10 years ago, mate, okay? But Hamza probably knows what he's doing. Maybe he doesn't know that the EDL finished 10 years ago, but he knows that those phrases, EDL, have the power to scare certain people that he's trying to address. So he brings it all back up again. It's like people bringing up World War II history or something like that to scare people today. He's got to bring it all up again. And so he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing perfectly well. He's trying to scare people that there's some sort of far-right threat. And in fact, that's the real threat. The people who are upset about their country being invaded, they're the real threat. And, he knows what he's doing, because he's a politician who divides people into friends and enemies. And you're either a friend or you're an enemy. And if you're an enemy, then he will go at you 100%. For him, there's no shades of grey here. There's no, oh, these guys over here are sometimes correct on things, and maybe we can deal with them. No, unless you're 100% on his side, you're enemy, and you have to be attacked relentlessly. That's how he divides life, friends and enemies. And it's a political way of doing things. And sometimes it can be quite effective, because there's no shades of grey. You're one thing or the other. And so that's what he's doing there. He's saying that he wants his agenda of mass immigration to continue, and the only way he has to stop it, and to quieten the voice of those who speak against it, is to essentially smear them as extremists in his view. Okay, it's not extreme to want immigration to stop, but he's going to call you extreme if you want immigration to stop. He's going to call you far right if you want immigration to stop. It's not far right to want to keep out violent criminals. It's not far right to want to ensure that every single person who comes into the country comes in with a passport and comes in legitimately. That's not far right. But Hamza and his sort will call you an extremist if you believe those basic things, because he just wants the country to be invaded. He doesn't care. It's not like me or you who think about your great grandfather who fought in the Navy in World War I, or your mother who worked in the factories in Glasgow during World War I or something. He's not caring about any of that. He just wants to change the country. He doesn't care if the whole thing became Pakistan tomorrow. He doesn't care. And it's so many people like him. They don't really care. They're literally not living in the same world as you and I. Their headspace is in a different world. You have to see that. Their headspace is in a different world. So they move through reality in a different way than you and I. And for him and for others like him, it's, if you want to stop this, if you want to stop immigration, you're an extremist. You're a dirty extremist. You're the worst of humanity. And, well, we're not. And you're wrong, Mr. Yusuf.